Well. Can't predict anything in this World Cup. Belgium 2 up at half-time against the mighty Brazil. It's 80 years since Brazil have won a World Cup game from 2 goals down. That was a 4-2 victory against Sweden in 1938 as the players go in for their half-time talks. Brazil need a massive turnaround in this game now.
Yeah, you've got to give huge credit to Roberto Martinez for the way he set his team up, the way he's changed his team, because the changes have worked to perfection, bringing Fellaini in to stiffen up that midfield. There's been no space in there, but also putting De Bruyne further forward and putting Hazard on the left and Lukaku on the right-hand side. And those three up top have caused them all sorts of problems, and they deserve their lead. They've been absolutely magnificent.
They've broke beautifully, but Brazil is so open to the counter-attack, Jürgen.
They are open to the counter-attack, but I mean, really, if you look at the movements from De Bruyne, from Hazard, from Lukaku, kind of making all the work for his team, open up all that space. Fellaini is playing defensively, major game so far, outstanding first half. Brazil is not finding the space. They're not finding their way through. Neymar, not there yet. We'll see the second half. But it's an outstanding performance by Belgium in the first half.
Belgium are realising that potential.
Yeah, they are.
We all thought they had at some point over the last
We've been talking about
years.
this potential, the golden generation, and they've turned up today. I think, again, just to reiterate what Alan said there, Fellaini has been a monster in midfield defensively. That's been where they started from. But when the ball has gone forward, the platform for anything going forward is holding the ball up, letting your teammates join, and every one of them front three, Lukaku, Hazard, Kevin De Bruyne have done that perfectly. Yeah.
They've played some beautiful football in that first half, but the first goal was obviously a tad fortuitous. Yeah,
it was obviously worked on though from Belgium. The run from Company from the far post to the near post just upsets Fernandinho in there, and he hasn't really got an understanding of what's happening. There's the run there from Company. He upsets the two of them at the near post. They both go for the same ball. It's unlucky. Comes off his shoulder, I think it is, isn't it? But it is unlucky. Can't really do a lot about that.
If Company doesn't make that run, they clear that ball straight away. And that front post run is so important. It's vital. Even when the ball's in open play for a forward, a lot of time to get across that front post and just move the front man, the defensive man, just to get in his eye line, takes you the eye off the ball.
It shocked Brazil. I mean, they actually started well, Brazil. You know, it's a couple of occasions right away in the first 10 minutes, and this own goal was like a shock to them psychologically. Shoot, now we're running behind, you know, and it gave a huge boost of confidence to Belgium.
Yeah. Well, if there was an element of good fortune with the first goal, there was an element of brilliance with the second, Jürgen.
Absolutely, absolutely. And yeah, it's a bit similar to the goal against Japan, you know, in the last second. You know, it comes from a corner kick for Brazil, and then the work from Lukaku is just unbelievable. It's unbelievable how he holds back the ball, how he goes. He sees them coming on the right side. He had that vision, and then that strike is insane. This strike, you know, is just
how many times have we seen
beauty.
That?
Clean.
And that's what you want to see from a very special player, to step up in a quarterfinal in the World Cup and make it happen, and he made it happen.
I mean, Kevin De Bruyne today has been exquisite form. The way he's performed, he has been. You can see what it means to the guys on the bench there, but they have been phenomenal. He has been an immense player in this first half.
As has Lukaku.
I've been
powerhouse.
I've been very impressed with him. Pace, power, strength, touch, technique, bringing people into the game, and he's played that role very well, because he's been asked to do a different role tonight. He's been asked to pull out wide a little bit, whether that's on the left-hand side here or whether it's been on the right-hand side. And him doing that has actually created space for others, in particular Hazard and De Bruyne. But once he's in that mood, and you could tell, you know, after 4 or 5 minutes, when the ball went up to him and it stuck to him, you thought, he's in the mood tonight. And I think this is one of the best 45 minutes I've seen from Lukaku, playing in this role. I mean, he's perfect as well, perfectly suited to this. If you're going to leave this amount of space, him one-on-one, he'll do this to you. Because once he's got that yard in front of you, you're not catching him. He's that quick and he's too strong. all he needs now is a goal, and you've got the perfect centre-forward performance. He's been superb.
I think he's played that role with Martinez at Everton on occasion, hasn't he? That kind of slightly
against
wider
Arsenal,
role.
I remember. I think they won 3-0 when he played out on the right-hand side. But what I think this, more than anything for me, this tells me that this squad, the harmony within this squad is perfect at the moment, because a lot of times big stars get asked to play in different positions in tournaments, in games, and they sulk. It's not going to help me. He's going there for the team, and today we've seen the fruits of that.
Yeah, it's interesting with that front three, Jurgen. The questions have always been asked: can they do it on the biggest stage against the biggest teams of all? They're answering those questions.
And that's like Rio said, it's down to chemistry. You know, it's down to kind of the understanding, blind understanding on the field, also enjoying your game. And Lukaku seems that he's enjoying it. You know, he makes all these runs. He seems to have energy for 5. And that lifts the whole team. You know, when a player like him is doing all that work for his team, that it makes things happen.
Certainly does. Tactically, they did change things around, not just up front, but in the sense that they're moving De Bruyne further forward has made a big difference.
Yep,
Clearly.
it was. I mean, listen, this guy was the best 1 or 2 players in the Premier League last year in a deeper role. But here, his intentions were there from the first couple of minutes. They're higher up the pitch. And in transition, here you can see him here with Lukaku. He's playing like a false number 9 almost here. And this is what's been great about him, the flexibility with the front three. They've been all over the place. Once they win it, he's in areas where he can actually decide the game. And we'll see later on in these clips where he does that. But what's great about him is the transition. Once the ball comes out and there's a turnover, the quality he has on the ball, the directness, how they all look at each other and understand positions of where to go that's going to affect the game. Holding his position wide there, Lukaku, knowing that the ball, the pace of the ball will be right, the weight. And that's what he's got in these areas. He's great deep, yeah, because he can deliver great passes over long range. But when he's in these areas, closer to goal, there's not many better people that you'd want on the ball around him.
As good as we're talking about the front three of Belgium here, from a Brazil point of view, some of the clips there that you've seen, if they're going to play that open...
They're missing Casemiro,
giving
aren't they? Because
themselves...
he fouls people and he makes it awkward for them.
You've seen it from the corner. If they're going to leave 2-on-2 and 3-on-3, then Belgium are too good for them going forward. That's going to have to change, or they could end up losing this 4-5.
I'll tell you, Lukaku just seems to me, he's like, you know, one of them, when you played in the school playground and you had like a 16-year-old and it was like the 11s.
I could remember it.
He looks like he's too big and too strong for everyone.
Yeah.
He shouldn't be allowed to play almost.
I'm not sure this game's over just yet. Brazil are a threat going forward, as they always are, in any World Cup, in any game.
Yeah, they've offered glimpses, haven't they? They were really unlucky here, Silva. That sort of... On the other hand, where they're unlucky when Fernandinho just hit him, I mean, that sort of just hits Silva there. You can see, can't you? It's like slow motion. Please go in the back of the net, but unlucky. Paulinho again from another set piece. So they have caused 1 or 2 problems. They'll have to change something at that half-time. Probably Firmino or something like that, just to give them a little bit more in that area, because Neymar hasn't really done anything, and Jesus is struggling up there as well.
We talk about the big players need to turn up in the big occasions. Brazil need Neymar now, don't they?
They need Neymar, but they need Neymar with urgency, determination. They need to bring it up in a higher gear. Yeah. Absolutely, because this is not good enough to break Belgium down.
It seems to me as well that they're allowing this Brazil team to go wide. We see the Coutinhos and Neymars and Marcelo out on the left-hand side getting wide. It's almost saying, get to the byline, cross the ball, we've got 3 centre-halves, we can deal with that.
OK. Well, given the amount of Belgian players in the Premier League, it could well be coming home. Just in case you've forgotten, the build-up to Sweden against England starts at 2 tomorrow afternoon here on BBC One. The winners will face either Russia or Croatia. Highlights of their quarter-final at 10:25 tomorrow night. The player rater for this quarter-final is open on the website, with plenty to discuss on our Barbershop forum, which is on the website and the iPlayer after this match. Yes, if you've just joined us, it's 2-0 to Belgium, and where on earth have you been? You missed a fabulous first half of football. Brazil have it all to do. Can they do it, Alan? Possibly?
Well, they can do it, but they've got to step up. They've got to show more urgency. They've got to have more pace up front, and certainly ask more questions of that back four that Belgium are playing this evening. And they can't be as open as they are, otherwise there's no doubt they'll concede again.
The Stars need to get going, Jurgen.
I think so too. Yeah, I think it's very exciting now, the next 45 minutes, to see if Neymar and the other ones are stepping it up. They can do it, but it's a lot of work ahead of them.
The other thing as well, sometimes half-time comes, it stops your momentum a little bit. Sometimes you're playing brilliantly, then it's not quite the same in the second half. What have Belgium got to do to ensure that they maintain the momentum?
Yeah, I think it's concentration. At this top level, concentration is key. Keep to what you've been told before the game, keep to your game plan. But we're going back to Brazil, I think what Jürgen said earlier, they have to show an intensity, an urgency to have any chance of getting back into this game.
There they go, the Belgian players coming down the steps. Kevin De Bruyne. Is there a position on the pitch that Kevin De Bruyne possibly couldn't play, apart from goalkeeper, perhaps?
He's such a gifted
Isn't he?
footballer, isn't he? And we've saw the best of him there in that first 45 minutes. Incredible.
Vincent Kompany leading them out. They've got so many good players, haven't they? Let's head back to Kazan and we can see there's a substitution to explain. I thought we might see one or two of those. Danny Murphy and Jonathan Pearce will tell us all about it.